talk about breasts.
Let's talk about you and me.
Let's talk about all the good things
and all the bad things.
Welcome back to Boob Tube Podcast. This is episode 42. I'm Chantel.
I'm your best friend, Jaleesa.
And we have another great episode ready for you. Last episode, we talked about organizing your bras. This episode, we're going to continue her story for Women's History Month. And we have a great lineup of information to share with you as we continue learning about women's history. But before we do that, we're going to take it to the streets. Do you know when bras were invented?
I don't.
Okay. A guess of a year?
I want to say like the 1920s.
Okay, we'll have to look that up. Do you know who invented bras?
No.
Okay.
Y'all know who invented bras or when they were invented?
A black lady invented bras.
Sure.
Positive.
Okay.
Then she did a bra straightening comb and a stoplight and a heart, like a peacemaker.
Okay. Do you know anything?
Pass on my brother.
Okay.
Brother X. Brother X in the building.
Okay.
What'd you think about our Bluetooth on the Move responses?
I wasn't surprised that not too many people knew who or when the first bra were invented.
That is true. I was surprised that
You always have the surprise.
I was surprised that it was the same inventor as the hot comb and the street lights and the pacemaker.
I mean, she must have lived a very long time because that's a big span in history.
She was God. She is Morgan Freeman, I guess. I don't know. Like, how did she invent all these things in one lifetime? I don't know, but here we are.
I mean, whatever.
Yeah. I was like, I said, are you sure? He was like, yeah, positive.
And like, okay. There was no hesitancy in any of the responses. No, don't know.
Very positive. The other one, he's like, I'm just going to pass it on to him.
Yeah.
Like, he just didn't know. But the other one, he was like, he said it with so much conviction.
Yeah.
Just, that's the epitome of loud and wrong, guys.
But confidence, I mean, just showing up with it, you know.
Yeah. He even gave us a little, at the end.
Be some foolery and confidence, though, so you got to be careful with that.
You do.
Yeah.
You do. Don't be a confident clown.
There you go. That was it. But they're not completely off because, I mean, not knowing, because honestly, there is no one person who came up with the bra.
True. It's been like, it was gradually created over time, and then we have our modern day one that they coined from Mary Phelps Jacob in 1913.
Yes.
That's what we got.
They're not, I mean, anyone, they could have thrown out any date.
True.
And probably would have been close to the mark.
True.
But not going with the stoplights and all that stuff.
Pacemaker and hot comb.
No, that's a lot.
She's a Renaissance woman.
She really is.
She is every woman. They made that song for her.
Yes, exactly. So let's
get into it. Yes, let's get into the history. Okay. What were some of your findings about bra history aside from the 1913 modern bra?
That it goes way back when. Women are just innovators. They just have to figure out how to make stuff work with what they have.
These we know.
So they used cloth to tie themselves up with bras. They would go braless, of course.
Yeah.
So it wasn't a big deal for them to go braless. I imagine they probably went shirtless too, and I think that's still relevant in some cultures.
Yeah.
You can just show your bare breast, and that's the
It's
culture.
nothing.
Yeah. I think something I found too, a lot of time bras, just a cloth, was used during sports because, but if it was outside of sports, then women weren't wearing anything, and it was just part of their culture. So bras weren't part of their everyday wear.
Right.
It was just if you wanted to do something and just wrap yourself up in something.
Yeah.
I don't even know what that would look like.
I mean, I feel like you might have seen it in like old movies or shows or something that's supposed to take place back in the day.
Yeah.
But I feel like at some point Because you gotta think about there was the corset and all that. So once those ages came about, it was kind of like, oh, let's hurt these things up. Like, oh, they look better like this. And I think it just evolved over time.
Yeah, the corset did. When I read about it, it did provide. It was definitely for the body shape, but it did provide the lift of the breast. That thing made of metal and all that, like.
Oh yeah, it was.
Breaking ribs,
miscarriages and stuff back then.
The things that women went through, and for what?
It really wasn't even all that. Then you wore this like big old, I don't know what the thing is called. It goes under the skirt to make it even wider. I mean, I get the illusion of like small up top and then flare, but like that still exists to these days. That still exists these days, but it's more like fitted. More form fitting, but the same concept.
Yeah.
But it's still like, I don't know, like bras are bras. They can be uncomfortable even if they are comfortable. Sometimes you just like don't want anything on.
Yeah.
There are times I just don't want anything touching me. So I was just like, take it all off, please. So I think that if you're doing that, like if you're going through that much pain with the corset, that's a lot.
It is.
I wouldn't want to take this off.
Yeah, I wouldn't have made it. They wouldn't have been mad at me.
Yeah, like they put the foot in the back to tie it and stuff, and they're like, suck it in. I don't know what accent that was. What
this is probably happening across a lot of cultures, so it fits. Yeah, I can see that in some of the movies that come across from history. That corset wearing, not for me. But a woman did have the idea. 1869. She was a French designer. Let me get the name right. Hermione Codoli. I don't know. Anyway, she cut the corset, and then so of course, you had the top and then the bottom, and she sold them as a set.
Now that still exists, but they just call it like garter. The garter belt, kind of, basically.
That
has
makes
the
sense.
bra and the garter.
Ain't no change. Ain't no new.
Just an evolution of it.
Yeah.
But you know, they had that lady, I forgot her name, but it's the lady who is the surfing queen for the show, The Surfing Queen. I forgot her name, Queen, whatever. But some say that she's responsible for the corset. Because I did watch the show. It comes on Stars, and they did show how, like, she came out with her own style because, like, she was known for not being the prettiest and stuff. And then she had, like, a whole style team get her together. And they came up with a corset and stuff. And they say that she's responsible for it. But again, it's not just one person tied to all these things. Yeah.
Again, I think women trying to figure out how best to do with what they got.
Right.
I think so. But we already know that none of this stuff is comfortable. Corset, whatever bras, not comfortable at all.
It's like, and even if it is comfortable, it's like you still feel it.
Yeah.
And it doesn't even have to be like a negative thing. Like, I mean, I'm sitting here, I can feel it. I have on a bra, even though I'm not like, oh, my bra. You know what I'm saying? So, I don't know.
What was interesting is that the term brassiere came about in 1907. Vogue named it after Codoli's.
Oh, okay. Brassiere.
So all this is still relatively new.
Yeah, I was like, that's not that old.
No, not at all. So.
And Mary designed hers from silk handkerchiefs and pink ribbon.
That's when we get a little bit more comfortable from the.
Yeah, maybe not support her. I feel like the feeling of silk and the ribbons might feel good, but like, where does support come from?
Yeah, because I think she used ribbons for the straps. But then we got to think about too, who were they designing for? What size? Because because I'm thinking at that point it might not be a big deal when it comes to support.
Yeah, I would have ate the ribbons up.
You needed the whole roll.
Mary. Keep rolling it out. Keep on.
Like, that ain't gonna work. And then I wonder, like, when I didn't find when the hook and eye came, like, I wonder when all that came into play, like, actual, but I guess that would be the modern day, probably.
I guess so. Maybe she ended up putting it on there instead of a ribbon. Maybe she encountered someone that's a little busty and they were like, Mary, this ribbon not gonna hold nothing.
No.
You
What
got
you
something a
doing?
little stronger? Something that can fasten it, maybe like the corset, because the corset was already out.
Right, yeah.
So it's like maybe something like the corset can just.
They were probably still tying it too.
Right.
I wonder if they were still kicking them in the back to get it on too.
In the back. That's interesting.
Man.
We'll see what they got.
You mentioned Mary earlier. She actually got a patent on her bra.
I thought so.
Yeah.
I thought so.
And then she sold it to some brothers. Warner Brothers.
Warner.
Not the same. It looks not the same as the media. But that could be a little bit confusing. They actually had Warner Brothers Corset Company. So some men were over the corsets. They decided to have this corset manufacturing company because they felt that women needed some support.
And it's spelled the same?
It is Warner Brothers. So I was confused. Like, they into this and into the media.
Okay.
But I guess who doesn't family members? Yeah.
Interesting.
Very interesting.
And then it was added to the Oxford Dictionary.
Yeah. Brazier.
I wonder what was in the Oxford Dictionary before. Well, I guess they just feel like they didn't exist.
It didn't.
But for a while.
But I'm wondering, because women have always worked, like, even outside. But, you know, I guess I'm just thinking of large breast women. If you bend over and they just all in the way.
That's when you make them makeshift bras out the shirt and the cloth and you just tie yourself up.
Yeah, that's how it had to be. They got tired of stuff being in the way.
It's boob sweat for me, the thought of it.
Of what? Of thought of
working and then just having it. I mean, because you can still boob sweat in your bras.
Yeah.
But just without one, it's like, it's a lot.
It's a different type of sweat. They didn't have no moisture wicking back then.
Listen. Was it Houston heat? Did they have this type of humidity? I mean, it different.
Yeah. I don't know. But yeah, that would hit differently.
Maybe on some of those islands too, the humidity.
Yeah.
Bless them.
Yeah.
God put me here during this time for a reason. I wasn't meant to be there back then. Or maybe I was. I don't remember. I don't know.
Not I.
Okay. So then at some point they started to introduce the cup sizes in 1932.
1932.
That's still very recent.
That ain't even 100 years.
No.
But we still ain't got it together.
We still had to come up with that universal sizing in like 2052, I think was what we said. Something like that.
Yeah. We gonna make it happen.
In the hair size, in the hair color.
Yeah.
Like,
so you can travel the world and know what size you are. We got
universally.
Too many different, too much stuff going on.
We gotta get that together. And there's still so much, people are still confused about it. Like, so how does this work?
Yeah.
What's the number? What's the letter? What does that mean?
Yeah.
Get asked that all the time.
Yeah. Yep. It's amazing how us women, the products are made for us, but we still don't know how to, a lot of us don't know how to operate them or utilize them to the best of our usage. 1940s, something called the torpedo style. This came because women were working in the factories during World War II, and then the pointy bras.
When I think of those, I think of France for some reason. Like, I feel like their style bras tended to have that point. I feel like things I've seen in the past, different movie shows or whatever, and even like Josephine Baker and stuff, you see the pointed bras. So yeah, that was a thing back then for sure.
Yeah. I think Marilyn Monroe contributed to that as well.
Yeah, too. Her too. It was a for show type thing.
Yeah.
It appeared. Yeah.
It took the right women to kind of pull it off.
Then, you had Madonna bring it to the modern day. Well, that was a while ago. Not exactly modern day.
Well, they weren't too modern. Not recent.
Yeah. Our youth.
Yes. People know who we're talking about.
So it led to, hers was called the Bullet Bra, Marilyn Monroe.
Yeah.
Torpedo, Bullet.
They're about the same.
Yeah.
The same. I don't know why. But she got her own special. She got her own special name for it.
What is it?
The Bullet Bra.
I was like,
there's a special term for it for whatever reason, because she's Marilyn Monroe.
Mr. President herself.
Yeah, that was around 1950s, and that's when the strapless bra apparently came into play.
Okay.
Still need some work done on those, but
yeah, they've made some progress.
They have.
But I guess when you think about it, like they had the corsets, a lot of them were strapless, but I guess they had to think about cutting it. Like, all right, let's take the stomach out.
Yeah.
So yeah, they were onto something, just hadn't gotten that far.
Yeah.
Then the push-up bra came out in 1964. That's still very young.
Yes. Oh my goodness.
Yeah. So again, it was still that part of that evolution of like, let's pump it up. Yeah. I wonder if in the future it's gonna be like, let's let them hang.
You don't need no bra then.
I know. That's what I'm like. I wonder if that's the future.
Okay, I'm thinking you put on something like instead of pushing up, you push it down.
I mean, because history repeats itself, and then I feel like we talked about a lot of young girls wearing just the little sports bra thing, so it's possible.
I think I see that. We see that happening more so now than in the past.
Yeah, we'll see what the future holds. Yeah. Mm-hmm. All we gotta do is keep living.
Yeah, we don't see a whole bunch. What I don't want to go back to is the 1977s. At least I'm grateful for the sports bra being invented that time, but it was made out of jock straps, and that wouldn't have been made for a lot of no busties.
Yeah, because the jock stuff doesn't take up nearly as much space as a breast.
No,
like a single one.
I'm really hoping these were clean jock straps too that they tried.
I get where they were like, we could use those for breasts in a sense.
Maybe for some.
Like, the sling of it and stuff. But I'm still just like, you'd have to have really small breasts because the male genitals just aren't that large
for compared to
jock strap.
Well, depending on whose breast you're comparing it to.
True. But even just like a regular full
A?
No. Does full A exist?
They got, because they even go like triple A. Full
A. But I mean, just like a full D.
Well, no, absolutely not.
That's what I'm saying. A C is pushing it.
Yeah. But again, I think too, when all of the raw, creativity, full bust definitely wasn't probably in mind.
It was just that just focus on one thing, just like our episode with Nubian skin. It was just like, let's just make one prosthetic with one skin tone, and it's just gonna be for everybody.
Yeah, especially since cup sizes were irrelevant back for a long time.
That is true. And then here we are now with memory foam.
This is still relative 2000s. This is not even what we in. That's not even 30 years old.
So that's, memory foam. It's comfortable. It's kind of like the spacer bras too. That kind of feel like memory foam or something. So it ends up being like the little t-shirt bras that people like, that with a molded cup.
Yeah.
What else they got? Oh, they got the bejeweled bras. So they got them all bedazzled.
Yeah.
Some of them with like real crystals.
Oh, expensive.
Yeah, for sure. More than I would ever pay for a bra.
More than $100.
I want to say I saw something in the magazine a long time ago. It was like some thousands.
You definitely gonna wear that without you show that off. You're not gonna hide that.
Rain, sleet, or snow, winter, fall, summer, spring.
Yeah.
All the time.
All the time, because you put some money into that one.
I'm gonna have to look like, what's her name? Not Miss Freeze, Glass or something from X-Men. I can't think of her name. She's on X-Men First Class. I can't think of her name right now.
I'm not good with characters anyway, so.
She would turn into like the glass crystal looking thing, and she was a telepath too. I just can't think of it. It's like Miss Glass, Miss or something. Miss Snow, Ice.
One of them.
Got it.
And of course we have mastectomy bras that are coming into play. So bras changing with the times, age of times is important.
And that you can put your prosthetics in. They have those too. Well, you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That part.
It's a lot of options out there.
Yes.
Is what it comes down to.
They've definitely evolved over the years and centuries.
Although I will say, thinking back to when they first started, you just wrap a cloth around you. That's how I think of some sports bras. It's just a piece of cloth, especially you just pull it over. Like, what is this?
Tie it tight. That's your sports bra. Just tie it tight.
Yeah.
All right, go run, girl.
Good luck.
That's probably what they used to do. I mean, you think about like ancient Greece and stuff.
Well, yeah.
That's probably all they really had. And if you did anything athletic, I guess they would just tied you up tight.
Yeah.
That's all I got.
A lot of throughout the history of all of this, it just proves that women they're gonna go for what they feel that they need, and they're gonna make it happen. So shout out to all the trailblazing Renaissance women out there.
Very innovative, and without you, there's no us.
No.
So yeah, thank you for everything. And we're gonna keep, carrying on the legacy and creating things in the name of women.
Yes.
Amen.
Continue with HERstory.
Thanks. Okay, so we hope that you enjoyed this ride down HERstory with us for bras and that you have learned a lot. So be sure to tune in next week because when we talk about the evolution of bras, we're going to talk about how they have evolved for different types of breasts in our next episode. So be sure to like, comment, subscribe, follow us as well, see our clips on Instagram, shop with us at bootopodcast.net. And don't forget to support us on Patreon for as low as $1. So we'll see you in 2 weeks. Bye.